Hope you're having a lovely day and you're searching for another recipe. This is the Majestic Cupcakery.
Okay, so I think I've just invented a new technique, and correct me if I'm wrong because it might have been a thing that's been about for ages. I've managed to get the pattern inside the buttercream. I made this kind of reveal away pattern. It's also really fun to make because you don't know what your pattern's going to be until you start scraping away that buttercream. So just keep on watching and I'll show you my trick on how to make this buttercream. So I'm starting off with a 4-inch chocolate cake. You can use whatever cake you want. And I'm just crumb coating around the outside to prevent any crumbs sticking to my design. I'm using Swiss meringue buttercream because it's really smooth and easy to handle. It also sets up nice and hard but not too hard that we can't scrape it off later to reveal the pattern. What we're going to do with this is we're just going to put it in the fridge and set a nice hard crumb coat on it. This is so when we put the design on it's not going to slip around and you're not going to get loads of little bits of cake stuck to it. So once it's been in the fridge, I've just dyed some Swiss meringue buttercream pink. I'm just going to swirl on small little dots on the cake. You want these to be about 1/2 centimetre thick. This is so when you put more buttercream on later and start to scrape the design away, it's not too thin that the cake starts to show up through it and you've got a nice even layer. I'm going for a leopard print kind of effect, but you can use whatever pattern you wish. You could go for hearts, you could go for flowers, anything you want. And there we go. So that's our first layer done. Now we're just going in with some purple Swiss meringue buttercream and I've just snipped the end off a little bit thinner. Now I'm just going around the edges just to create the leopard print. Again, I'm going 1/2 centimetre thick. If you add multiple colours because you're doing a different design, and just keep on going until you've created the pattern you're going for. I did this all the way around and it doesn't need to be too neat, but obviously you don't want to pipe too much on because it'll be hard to scrape off later. And there we go, that's our second layer done. You want to now pop this in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes, just to let that buttercream harden, so when you put more buttercream on top it's not going to smudge around. So now it's out and it's nice and hard to the touch. I'm just going in with more buttercream, again Swiss meringue buttercream, in a nice light pink colour, and I'm just spreading that gently over the top of the design. It doesn't matter too much if it smudges a little bit, as long as it's just the top layer that's smudging. So be very gentle and just press on that buttercream. You are going to have a very thick layer. Again, doesn't need to be too neat. Now I'm just going to scrape off the very top edge. Just go around and neaten it up. You're just doing this so you haven't got as much to scrape off later. Then just taking those top edges. And now it's looking like a hot mess. This is completely normal. And this is what it should be looking like to go in the freezer for round 2. So as you can see, there's like some smudging, but that will scrape off eventually when we take it out of the freezer. So I've got my little scraper here, and it's been in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. You just want the outer layer to be crisp, so then the inside's still soft. You're just going to start to scrape that away to reveal your pattern underneath. This is the really exciting part because you don't know what you're going to get. If any of you have watched any of my other videos, you'll know I did a video on a marble effect. It's kind of the same principle as that, but you're just creating a different pattern underneath. So yeah, go and check that out. As you can see, the pattern's starting to really come through. You want to make sure when you're scraping that you're taking your scraper and just cleaning that off, just because if you keep using it over and over, it's just going to smudge and you're not going to be able to get that clean finish that you want in. Scrape it round, finish it off right nice and neatly. Now I've got it as clean as I want it, I'm just piping on some excess buttercream, which I've just used that I've scraped off the sides so there's no waste. And just pipe in little swirls on top. You could do whatever you wanted here, you could add a drip, You could add biscuits, you could add sweets, whatever you want to finish it off, maybe even a topper. Go in and add some sprinkles, and yeah, this is basically it. Similar to a wrapped buttercream, but I thought I'd try it and see if it worked, and it does, so give it a go and see if you like it. If you do, give it a big thumbs up. I'll see you all next time. Bye!